Your first choice for news on North Mississippi CW4 starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us this morning on the CW4 at 7.
Yay,
Happy Friday, guys.
Friday. Happy Friday to you.
What
is this?
My Friday jig.
Oh,
You know?
goodness. I need to take notes. I think that's called the Cabbage Patch.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. You're doing a little stiff.
It looks like you're mowing the lawn.
Well, with these temperatures
Sure.
and rain,
And
we're going to have to
rain.
start mowing the lawn pretty soon.
That's
Good
the thing
job.
is I'm the kind of person where I don't want to mow the lawn if it has rained very recently because it gets all like yucky and
Yeah.
sticky together. I don't like that. But I mean, we've gotten all the rain. It's gotten warm. Folks are going to start to say, "Oh man, that grass is getting a little bit tall." But you don't have one of those dry days where things can dry out and
Yeah.
you don't get the sticky grass
Ew.
feel when you cut the grass. So we've been dealing with a lot of rain and we've got more on the way.
And I saw more
Okay.
next week, too.
Yeah, it's not
Oh.
going anywhere.
Icky, icky.
Goodness. All right, well, Alex, I know you'll have a full update here in just a little bit. Thank you. Well, a social media threat aimed at an area high school gets the attention of area law enforcement. West Point police say on Wednesday a student made a threat over social media saying he was planning a shooting at the school on Friday. The department received a tip from the FBI about that threat and immediately began their investigation. Police brought the juvenile who was accused of making that threat to the station to be interviewed. Assistant Chief Kenny Sanders says the student then admitted to making that threat. According to Meters, the student said he made the threat because he was kicked off of an app from his phone.
I think the app was like Fun Run or something like that right there, and like I said, he may have gotten kicked off, and then he got mad, and then he took it as a joke. But with all the stuff that's going on in the country today, we have to take these threats very seriously and make sure that we make sure that our students and our community is safe.
The case is being handled in youth court.
Well, due to continued safety concerns, Starkville police say they will be increasing security this morning at the city's schools today. SPD made this announcement last night after receiving many concerns from Starkville residents. The scare began earlier this week after an individual on social media threatened to bring a gun to Starkville High School. After an investigation, SPD determined the threat was directed at Springfield High School in Ohio. However, a recent post shows there are many residents who are still concerned that a shooting may occur. Police believe the recent posts are the aftermath of a previous scare, but again, they say they will increase police presence at schools.
A tragic update to a story we first brought you last week. A Brooksville man shot by his son has died. Noxubee County Coroner R.L. Calhoun says 49-year-old Elvis Shields died Thursday morning at North Mississippi Medical Center in Tupelo. Shields was shot 1 week ago at his Meadowbrook Drive home in Brooksville. Police say he suffered from multiple gunshot wounds. His son, Everett Shields, was arrested on an aggravated assault charge, but those charges are now upgraded to murder by Brooksville police. Shields also faces a count of aggravated assault and shooting a firearm in the city limits.
Family, friends, and neighbors gathered in Tupelo to remember a friend and support her family. Last night, a vigil was held at the Orchard. People gathered to pray for the recovery of Tupelo High School student Taj Crump and to honor the memory of his mother, Erica Walls. The two were in a car crash as they returned from a campus visit at Millsaps College. Walls was killed. Crump is still recovering from serious injuries.
The 22-year-old legal case surrounding a Winona quadruple murder might finally be winding to a close. The Mississippi Supreme Court Thursday declined to rehear Curtis Flowers' appeal of a November 2017 State Court of Appeals case upholding his conviction and 4 death sentences. Well, this move finishes the first set of appeals complete, but a new appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court is possible. Flowers was tried 6 times for the murders of the owner and 3 workers at the Tardy Furniture Store in Winona. 5 of those convictions were thrown out before the current sentence was delivered.
Alabama officials halt an execution of an inmate after he argues his veins are too damaged for lethal injection. The execution was planned for Thursday night, but Alabama Corrections Commissioner Jeff Dunn says the prison system stopped it around 11:30 last night. The reason, quote, out of an abundance of caution after medical staff didn't think they could connect the line by the time the death warrant expired. Dunn says there wasn't enough time to prepare the inmate before the death warrant expired at midnight. In 2014, Ham was diagnosed with B-cell lymphoma. Last week, prison told the court they planned on using a vein in his leg or hip after a federal judge ruled Ham had no accessible veins in his upper extremities. No word on when the execution could happen. Ham was convicted in the 1987 killing of motel clerk Patrick Cunningham. Cunningham was shot once in the head while working at an overnight shift at a Coleman, Alabama motel.
Well, back here at home, when the Starkville Board of Aldermen voted against allowing Starkville Pride to hold a parade, they set into motion a legal challenge.
That's right. Now the group plans to file suit. Our Jory Talley speaks with Starkville Pride's attorney and has more.
Roberta Kaplan, a nationally known civil rights attorney, is representing Starkville Pride. Kaplan says the lawsuit seeks to accomplish one thing.
No one's seeking to get rich or even get any money off of this. This is just simply to have the ability to walk down the street as part of a pride parade the way that gay folk do in so many other cities across this country.
Not being able to do so violates the group's fundamental rights and freedoms, according to constitutional law professor Whit Wade. Two of those rights fall under the First Amendment: the freedom of speech and the freedom to peacefully assemble. But Wade says there's more.
The 14th Amendment of the Constitution guarantees equal protection under the law. So what that means is a government can't act in such a way to carve people out for different treatment unless they've got a overriding reason to do so or a compelling reason to do so.
And Wade says the Board of Aldermen doesn't have either of those. Kaplan says she's representing Starkville Pride at no cost.
Just to be clear, that's not to say I'm not going to try to get my attorney's fees back from the city when they're found liable.
Kaplan plans on coming to Starkville, but says she wouldn't need to if the problem could be solved.
If the city and the town is willing to change its mind and to allow the parade to go forward in a manner that's acceptable to my clients, then, my job is not to litigate simply for the purpose of litigating. My job is to represent my client's interests.
Again, that was Jory Talley bringing us that report. The suit has not yet been filed, but when it is, it will fall under federal jurisdiction because it is a constitutional case. Well, time now to get the latest in our morning forecast. 7:07. Here's meteorologist Alex Puckett with the details.
Thank you very much, Renee. A few clouds this morning, but a good bit of sunshine and blue skies as well. This is a view from Tupelo and our Alpha Insurance Sky Cam there. You sort of still see some of the moisture left on some of the sidewalks and roadways there. We've seen so much rain, and unfortunately, we do have more on the way. But it looks like at least during the day today, we may be able to dry out. At least some spots will. Temperature sitting in the 60s for most of us this morning. And again, the radar quiet, so a dry start to our Friday morning. So some good news there. And as we go through the rest of the day, more spots than not will dry out as we get into the afternoon. Tupelo might be one of those spots that I can't totally rule out a shower popping up in the afternoon hours, but more rain moves in as we head into the overnight hours. And once again, going to be a warm day in store for us. Temperatures climbing into the 70s and 80s as we get into the afternoon. Got the chance not only for rain, but maybe some severe storms as we head into Saturday. I'm going to time out that chance and let you know what you can expect as we head into next week as well, coming up in my 7-day forecast in a few more minutes. Guys.
All right, Alex, thanks a lot. Time now 7:09. Yesterday morning, it was a much different scene out there. Storms brought flash flooding to northeast Mississippi, and for counties with few major roads, travel can be difficult.
Yeah, and like Alex said, the rain's not over just yet, but yesterday our Parker King, he got his boots a little muddy in Calhoun County. He has more.
Water rushes under Highway 9 in North Calhoun County, and nearby fields resemble something more along the line of lakes.
At that point where the water was going over the road, it was like this right here. It was just flowing.
Scenes of flooding dot the county, but the future forecast could mean more than just dots.
If the rain continues, that could become an issue pretty quickly. I mean, there's a potential there for it to get much deeper than that.
Calhoun County only has a few roads coming in and out of its borders. And during flooding, Sheriff Greg Pollen and law enforcement makes sure everyone is on the safest route.
We would have to go in and help barricade areas, work with the supervisors to make sure that there's the proper signage up and help enforce that.
But should they miss a spot, should you find yourself looking at a water-covered area, Pollen says the best choice is to turn back.
If water is coming across the road, whether you think it's 6 inches deep, it doesn't matter. don't go through the water. You never know how deep it is or how fast the current is. So if you come up to a road and there's water going, you turn around and find you an alternate route.
Now for Calhoun County, if you would like more information on how to steer clear of flood zones, just visit our website for EMA information at WCBI.com. Well, time now to take a commercial break, but we've got more on the CW4 at 7 right after this.
Deep and wide. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Time now 7:12. Child care advocates say there's money slipping through the cracks that could help Mississippi families. Well, here's their argument. When low-income parents don't have access to child care, they're often forced to quit their jobs. Advocates are hoping to get more funding and reduce the number of parents having to make that choice. Courtney Ann Jackson explains why a group rallied for changes to a safety net program.
Money is available to help low-income families pay for child care, but the state hasn't been able to access all of it.
For last year, $6 million in state funds would have brought into the state an additional $13.2 million.
So that's the problem. DHS has access to a federal block grant for the child care payment program, but it requires matching dollars from the state. Mississippi said it didn't have enough money to match the federal dollars last year. Because of that, $13 million had to be returned to the feds.
Mississippi deserves child care for every family. DHS deserves to be funded adequately, and we shall not go gently into the night saying that next year we'll get these things done.
Over 100,000 Mississippi children qualify, but only about 17,000 are served, and more than 21,000 are on the waiting list for the child care vouchers. Behind all the numbers are the parents and child care providers who are left feeling the domino effect of losing or not having the vouchers.
I have parents come in that have to decide, do I pay daycare this week or do I buy groceries? And they shouldn't have to do that.
But that's exactly what they say is happening.
It's important for me to be here so that people can hear what it's like for moms or parents, single parents, to have to choose between child care, quality child care, and being able to live, have a sustainable life.
That was Courtney Ann Jackson reporting. Advocates say there's $39 million more that's newly available as part of the block grant. It doesn't include a required match. They're hoping DHS will act quickly to take advantage of those available dollars. Well, a twist of events after law enforcement learned a school security guard on duty at the time of the shooting at a Florida school never jumped into action. That's still ahead here on the CW4 at 7. Also, Alex will have a full look at our weekend forecast.
Your first alert forecast with meteorologist Alex Puckett.
Temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s this morning to start the day, so another mild start out there. Radar shows not dealing with any rain. It's a quiet start to the day. Really nice weather to kick off our Friday. No complaints. We could see a few showers pop up as we head into the afternoon, especially north and west of a line from Iuka to Tupelo, Calhoun City to Winona, and points north and west of there. Could see a couple of showers pop up. Can't rule out any rain area-wide this afternoon, but most spots dry out today, and then we see more showers and thunderstorms move in from southwest to northeast as we head into the overnight hours. But as for this afternoon, again, more spots are not drying out. We'll see some sunshine as we go through the day. Temperatures climbing into the 70s and 80s as we head into the afternoon. Now, Saturday is a different story. Scattered showers and thunderstorms possible during the day. Then a line of strong to severe storms moves through overnight. And you do note this is going to be a late night event. This is right at midnight Saturday night. And this line of storms pushing through. And again, these storms will have the potential to produce some severe weather. This is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Most of our area under that yellow slight risk, but you do notice northwestern Mississippi under that orange. That's an enhanced risk for severe storms, so a little bit of an upgrade there. We do think that the biggest threat for sort of tornadoes will probably be over eastern Arkansas, far western Mississippi, but we could see a few tornadoes here as well. But the biggest threat probably going to be strong straight line winds with that setup. Could see some hail in this, but again, not the main threat. And despite the fact these showers and storms can be moving pretty quickly, we may see 1 to 2 inches fall pretty quickly on already saturated soils, so we could see some flooding issues as we head into Saturday night as well. Once we get behind that cold front on Saturday, we do see temperatures drop. So if you've not been a fan of this sort of early summer kind of weather, we are going to see temperatures back down, at least high temperatures down into the 60s and 70s as we get into next week. Guys?
All right, Alex, thanks a lot for that update. 19 minutes past the hour. Law enforcement in Florida is reeling after learning one of their own was at the Parkland shooting last week and could have stepped in to help stop the bloodshed.
Yeah, instead he stood outside while shots were being fired. This as the president leading the charge calling for more adults inside schools to be armed. John Schumo has the latest.
The Broward County Sheriff says it made him sick to his stomach to see a new surveillance video that shows an armed officer who was at the Parkland, Florida high school last week during the shooting stand by and do nothing.
What I saw was a deputy arrive at the west side of Building 12, take up a position, and he never went in.
That deputy, Scott Peterson, resigned yesterday after being suspended without pay. This revelation comes on the second day in a row President Trump called for teachers and other school personnel to be armed. He said they should even get paid extra to carry a gun.
Nobody's going to attack that school, believe me, because they're cowards. They don't want to be shot at.
That stance was echoed by the head of the NRA at this week's Conservative Political Action Conference.
Our NFL games, our office buildings, our movie stars, our politicians, they're all more protected than our children at school. Does that make any sense?
President Trump, who will speak today at the same CPAC event, broke slightly with the NRA yesterday, tweeting in part, "I will be strongly pushing comprehensive background checks with an emphasis on mental health, raised age to 21, and end sale of bump stocks."
Now, the Broward County Sheriff's Office placed 2 other deputies on restricted duty. It's looking into whether they properly handled 2 telephone tips the last 2 years, warning that the suspect might be inclined to commit a school shooting. Well, time now to take a commercial break, but we've got more up next. Welcome back. It is 7:23. More than 1 million children in the U.S. suffer from peanut allergies, which can range from mild to severe. For many parents, a daily medicine that could ward off an allergy attack would be a life changer for them and their kids. A new drug is showing promise, but won't hit your medicine cabinet quite yet. Dr. John LaPook looks at the potential benefits.
12-year-old Aiden Robertson and his mother Lisa didn't know he was allergic until he was 2 years old and ate peanut butter.
It's horrifying, that moment when you see your child, all of a sudden his face was swelling and swelling and swelling.
Doctors quickly treated Aiden with an antihistamine, but every day the Robertsons are on guard against an allergy attack, avoiding any food that might contain peanuts.
And peanut oil too. You don't know how many things that's actually in, and it's in a lot of things.
Now, a company called Aimmune is offering a new assault against peanut allergies. In its study, it gave increasingly larger doses of peanut protein powder sprinkled over food to nearly 500 children aged 4 to 17. At the end of 6 months, 67% of them were able to tolerate the equivalent of roughly 2 peanuts, enough to avoid a potentially deadly reaction to a small accidental exposure.
It changes the way the immune system sees peanut. So it changes it from seeing it as something dangerous to something that is safe.
Dr. Jonathan Tam is a pediatric allergy specialist who helped recruit test subjects for the company.
It's not going to be for everybody, but for certain families that are very anxious about having accidental exposures, this is a great therapy for them.
The company's findings have not yet been reviewed by independent experts.
I'd be very interested to see, further documentation on the study and kind of what comes of it before we would jump in.
There are some risks when you take the drug. It can cause reactions to peanut, stomach pains, mouth itching. Up to 19% of the kids had to drop out from the study because of these side effects.
Dr. John LaPook, CBS News, New York.
Very interesting. Well, new technology can help drivers avoid the fender benders that are all too common in parking lots and driveways.
Yeah, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety tested rear crash prevention programs. Kenneth Craig has the report card.
When this Subaru backs into a parked car, the damage tops $1,100. With auto brake, crisis averted. Low-speed backup crashes happen in parking lots and driveways. These poles show the scars. In this test, the damage came to over $3,400. Technology to prevent backup crashes includes cameras and cross-traffic alerts. But the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says the best results are when those features are paired with automatic braking.
If you combine sensors with rear cameras, you get a 40% reduction in backing up crashes. And if you combine sensors with cameras and auto brake, you get a 78% reduction.
In a test of 6 different models, the Cadillac XT5 and Subaru Outback earned superior ratings. The other 4 got advanced ratings but were not successful in as many scenarios. Rear auto braking is only available in about 5% of 2018 models, but the IIHS says it's worth pursuing.
Our data would suggest that a lot of people have trouble backing up and that a lot of crashes occur under those circumstances, and so we would recommend people seek out this technology.
The braking systems are designed to sense only hard objects like poles or cars, but the automakers are working on systems that detect humans in a car's path. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
If I understand the braking thing right, like does it stop for you if you get too close? I'd rather just hit the brake myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. That's kind of scary for me.
In my mom's new car that she has the where you can look and that thing
the
and
camera,
then
the rear camera,
the rear view, and then the car did stop. I remember her saying, "Watch, if I get too close, the car will automatically stop." And she did it. She was backing up. She did it, and it just jerked. So
but,
those
what if it
work.
malfunctioned or something and stopped when you didn't need it to stop?
That is the risk you take.
Know?
So
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, shall we put the pedal to the metal and turn out to sports?
Let's
Is
go.
that all right.
Here's Tom.
Vroom vroom.
Senior night inside the hump for the winningest class in Mississippi State women's hoops history. And on top of that, Hail State Hoops looked to be the first MSU basketball team, men's or women's, to finish with a perfect record inside the hump. Victoria Vivians, Roe Johnson, Morgan William, and Blair Schaefer all honored in this one as the Bulldogs looked to top Auburn. And getting off to a good start, Roe Johnson to Morgan William for the top of the key triple. Bulldogs yet again starting off red hot from the land of plenty. Roe Johnson gets in on the party with the corner triple, and they weren't done just yet. William drives, finds Victoria Vivians in the corner. She drains the triple. Second quarter we go, Bulldogs up 30-17 off the fast break. Roe Johnson finds Jazz Holmes. She's going to take it right to the cup for two. Gets the friendly bounce to go, and later on, Holmes will return the favor. She's going to find Tierra McCowan inside. McCowan misses, but corrals her Ole Miss. Look, the entire Auburn team is just like, what do you do against that? Can't get that done. Former Bulldog Preston Smith enjoying the action. Vivians with the pull-up mid-range J. Dogs up 13 at the break. Third quarter, Johnson finds Vivians at the free throw stripe. Gets the friendly shooter's roll to go. Bulldogs up by 15 here and just pouring it on. Look at Morgan William. Watch this move. Step back. Yikes. Puts the defender on skates and one bucket. You don't foul the jump shooter. Just to keep it rolling, Blair Schaefer to Roe Johnson for three. Bulldogs get it done. Become the first MSU team to finish perfect inside the hump, 82-61 over Auburn. Head coach Vic Schaefer also staying true to his word, writing a $10,000 check to the Boys and Girls Club for the hump attendance, topping $100,000 for the season.
I thought that for a senior night, you go out there and win by 21. It's pretty good compared to some of them that I've had in here in years past. So again, happy for these four. They deserve it. I couldn't be prouder of them. I'm very blessed and very thankful to have had them play for me for 4 years and this one for 3.
It was really special to be able to spend it with these guys. I mean, we've gone through so much together, and we've just fought through so many hard battles together. So just to do this in front of this crowd today was awesome.
Senior night as well for Ole Miss. Final game inside the pavilion, trying to snap a losing streak, taking on Kentucky. Rebs down 13 at halftime, but Alyssa Alston left alone for 3 to start a rally. In transition, Alston to Medina Muhammad drives baseline. She misses the layup, but China Nixon right there at the perfect time for the cleanup bucket. Still did single-digit game, but Kentucky would answer every time. Amanda Pichal with the mid-range J. It'd still be a 10-point game after 3, but Ole Miss puts the rally caps on one more time. Alston to Medina Muhammad for the wing triple. She'd be honored for joining the 1,000-point career club at Ole Miss. And then Alston, she's going to drain the deep wing triple as well. Nothing but net there. Cuts the lead to 8, but Kentucky would answer. Riddle me this one. This defies logic to me. Ole Miss has 24 assists on 26 made shots, 10 triples, but still loses by 8. Kentucky gets the W, 79-71. The Rebels have now lost 12 straight games. It's the lawsuit that keeps on churning. Bruce Feldman of Sports Illustrated reports former Mississippi State head coach Dan Mullen, former AD Scott Strickland, and the NCAA have been added to the Rebel Rags lawsuit. The lawsuit claims Mullen and Strickland aided and abetted libel, slander, and defamation against the store as co-conspirators with Leo Lewis, Kobe Jones, and other defendants. The Bulldogs were able to get back on their feet Wednesday with a win over Jackson State after Andy Canizaro's, quote, poor decisions got him kicked from the skipper position. In his first appearance with the media since becoming interim head coach, Gary Henderson says the conversations were short leading up to Wednesday's game, and Henderson says the most important thing for his guys and the team is to put the past behind them.
You're disappointed and you know immediately that you've got to move forward, and that's what you do. That's the message to the kids, that's the message to the coaching staff. And really, it's, I'm not sure that's too insightful. I think it's a pretty good slice of common sense there. We're moving forward, and the kids showed tonight, and really proud of them.
It's definitely an unfortunate event, but, at the same time, we have two ways to react to it, and that's either to, let it affect us or just overcome it. And I think that's definitely what we're going to plan on doing this time going forward.
It's unfortunate, it is, but if he ever needs anything, it was unfortunate, but we just got to move on, and I hate it, but it'll be all right.
Mississippi State continues its road trek, this time over in Texas for some baseball action. That does it for sports for this morning. Sunrise continues right after the break.
Welcome back, everyone. Time now 7:35. The Trump administration has inspired some of the most proactive political art in U.S. history, often focusing on the president himself.
Well, it's not just American artists who are drawing this chapter. President Trump has sparked bold content around the globe. As Weijia Jiang reports from Washington, artists say that's because he himself is such a bold man.
Time magazine summed up President Trump's first year in office with one drawing. His unconventional leadership has inspired a lot of other art, too.
I've never had a president so actively write material for me.
Matt Worker is the Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist for Politico. He has published drawings of every president since Jimmy Carter and says Trump is like no other.
He's completely unfiltered in a way that no other president's been unfiltered.
The art is prolific, provocative, and political. The people behind it range from protesters making signs to street artists and professionals in the United States and abroad. Lithuania and the West Bank are home to murals of the president kissing his Russian and Israeli counterparts. At the U.S.-Mexico border, a French artist installed a 30-foot portrait of a young boy peering over it, perhaps a response to Mr. Trump's call for a border wall.
The news dictates what I draw.
Pulitzer Prize recipient Signe Wilkinson draws for the Philadelphia Inquirer. She says keeping up with headlines about the president is exhausting.
It's a machine, a quote machine, a Twitter machine, and you can't be distracted by each and every outrageous statement that he makes.
American University professor Scott Talon says art is a critical tool to capture history.
One picture, when it's done well and hits a nerve, can really have a lasting effect, far more than any speech, any tweet, any word, or any op-ed.
In fact, Worker says the best cartoons contribute to the conversation in a constructive way, and it never hurts to add some color. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Washington.
Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Let's go to you, Alex.
Yeah.
Let's just go to you
Will
now.
you paint us a canvas of what we can expect out there this morning?
Thank you very much, Renee. We do have a little bit of patchy fog that's developed across the area now that we've hit sunrise, so something to keep in mind as you head out the door. You may come across a little bit of that fog this morning. We saw just a little bit here in Columbus a second ago on our Skycam, and you can see that we've certainly gotten some low cloud cover and a little bit of fog to develop. This will burn off, though, as we head into the later on this morning and into the early afternoon. Temperature sitting in the 60s for most of us this morning, and as we go through the day, we're going to see cloud cover increase. Obviously, we're dealing with a little bit of fog this morning, but we'll see actual clouds in the upper levels start to fill in as we head through the afternoon. The potential for some showers and thunderstorms as we head into the evening tonight as well. But the best chance for any strong severe storms is going to hold off until Saturday night. We're going to have more on that, what you can expect as we go beyond the weekend and into next week, coming up in a few more minutes. Guys?
All right, Alex, thanks a lot for that weather update. It is 7:39. All week long, we've heard from our dedicated team of meteorologists about severe weather as we partake in Severe Weather Awareness Week. We've heard about tornadoes, flash floods, thunderstorms, and even lightning. Today's topic is a little different.
Yeah, it's focused on making sure that you know how to stay informed and receive severe weather information at a moment's notice. Meteorologist Amanda Reynolds is here to share ways that you can connect with our team of meteorologists and build your own severe weather safety plan.
Severe weather can happen at any and all times of the year. That's why it's important that you stay up to date with our forecasts and remain alert for changing weather conditions. There are a number of ways you can stay informed and ahead of the storm. Be sure that you download the WCBI app on your smart device. Our app can be programmed to notify you if a severe weather alert is issued for your county. You can also keep up to date with the forecast and check our interactive radar to see where the storms are. You can also stream our live severe weather coverage from your safe place through the app. Be sure you also have a programmable NOAA weather radio. A weather radio is like a smoke detector you have in your house. Its purpose is to alert you when severe weather is nearby. You can pick one up at many stores in our area. We also got to go out in the community and host weather radio programming events. You can find these events at WCBI.com or on our WCBI Weather social media pages. Finally, visit our exclusive safety page at WCBI.com/safety to build a severe weather safety plan. We also have a full list of known community storm shelters you can find on that page, keeping you informed so that you can stay ahead of the storm. I'm meteorologist Amanda Reynolds.
WCBI Severe Weather Safety Tips are brought to you by Lee's Storm Shelters and Coldwell Banker West Realty Company.
All right, again, all week long, we've focused on severe weather as part of our Severe Weather Awareness Week. Today focuses on what you need to do to be prepared. An important part of every severe weather safe plan is having a disaster kit ready. Your kit should include flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit, food and water and medications, and a weather radio. Starting today through Sunday, Alabama is having its 7th Severe Weather Preparedness Sales Tax Holiday. You can purchase many emergency supplies you might include in your disaster kit tax-free. Weather radios are also included. Our team of meteorologists will be at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon Saturday morning from 10 a.m. until noon to program weather radios. They can also answer any questions you might have and help you stay safe. For more information, visit our website to find WCBI weather on our Facebook page. Time now to take a commercial break, but we've got some more news coming up after this break. Welcome back. It is 7:44. The Winter Games are winding down in South Korea.
Hard to believe already. Dana Jacobson takes a look back at some of the memorable moments that had very little to do with the competition.
From unique modes of transportation shown off by the Swiss to brazen team uniforms courtesy of Norway, the Olympics have had their fair share of viral images, messages to movie nods, a storybook moment, even something to keep you warm.
Don't be shy. Come closer.
The team from Finland brought back the knitting needles first seen in Sochi so they could wind down.
When I see Antti knitting, I just laugh at him. So I'm not actually thinking about my run that much.
Yeah, and I don't mind being laughed at.
From laughter to cheer. The North Koreans get a nod for Olympic cheerleading, but it's one of America's own personal squads which stands above the rest. This red, white, and blue-clad trio belonged to silver medal-winning luger Chris Madser, girlfriend Mara, along with sisters Sarah and Kate.
Luge is a super crazy sport, and so fans have to be just as crazy.
Their patriotic sports bras are an Olympic throwback of sorts, despite the sub-freezing temps on the luge course.
When his sisters told me that they had done it in Vancouver and asked me if I wanted to do it with them here, I was like, yeah, of course, it sounds awesome. And then I'm like disrobing at the game, and I'm like, well, you guys are nuts. Taking off, our jackets, I was like, this was a bad idea. And then all of a sudden, like, the adrenaline kicked in, and I was like, yeah, I'm pumped.
Madser himself made history here, the first U.S. man to win an Olympic medal in singles luge. But as for his snapshot image of the games, he may have to share that with his patriotic crew.
Well, cheers to success. Sorry, still to come on the CW4 at 7. City leaders, businesses, and community members gather to celebrate a year of growth in the Golden Triangle. We look at the ceremony when we come back.
Welcome back. It is 7:48. Business and community leaders were toasting a successful year in West Point. Dozens gathered last night for the annual Growth Alliance banquet. They were celebrating the economic growth and accomplishments this past year. The area saw 18 new businesses come in, resulting in several new jobs.
It's important that we keep economically growing because it brings more jobs to the area, and that's just good for the whole Golden Triangle. And that also brings more tourism and tourism dollars to the economy.
During the banquet, two community leaders, Anna Jones and Tom Story, were inducted into the West Point Hall of Fame.
The first stop for many Tupelo visitors gets a major renovation, and it's now open to the public. The Tupelo Convention and Visitors Bureau has been going under extensive interior renovation since Labor Day. Well, the goal of the renovations were to make the space more interactive and engaging to visitors. Well, people can exercise with HealthWorks staff on a video, take a virtual reality tour down the Natchez Trace Parkway, and of course, learn about Tupelo's most famous hometown boy, Elvis Presley. Well, I was trying to do an Elvis Presley accent that didn't work. Well, they wanted to show visitors the many attractions in the Tupelo in the area.
So we want to create awareness that there are things to do more than just say the Elvis Presley birthplace, that it extends the stay and it gets people staying in Tupelo longer and experiencing what all we have to offer.
The $1.1 million project came in under budget and ahead of schedule.
All right, the largest rebuilding effort in America will soon get underway, and it's spearheaded by a Tupelo-based ministry. 8 Days of Hope is expected to bring more than 3,000 volunteers to the Houston, Texas area from March 10th through the 24th. They will help rebuild 700 to 800 homes that were flooded by Hurricane Harvey last August. A majority of homeowners affected by the historic flooding did not have adequate insurance to cover the damages. 8 Days of Hope officials say although the hurricane has long faded from the headlines, the need is still great for those in the Houston area.
I met a couple just last week. They're living in a tent outside their house because they have nowhere to go. They have no family, no money. Their house is gutted. They're waiting for somebody to rebuild it. There's no running water. Their kitchen isn't operable, and they're living in a tent. I mean, here in America, not a third world country.
Tiber points out there is still time to volunteer. To find out more, just visit our website, WCBI.com. Time now to find out more about what we can expect weather-wise today. Here's meteorologist Alex Puckett with those details.
Thank you very much, Renee. Scott, I think you sound a little bit more like Wilford Brimley than you do Elvis Presley. Anyway, temperature sitting in the 60s this morning to start the day. We have seen a little bit of patchy fog start to develop, especially in the Golden Triangle area, but no rain, no big issues for your morning commute, and we're going to see that fog mix out here within the next couple of hours. Now, we do see increasing clouds as we go through the day, the potential for a couple of scattered showers, especially along and west of the line from Iuka to Tupelo to Calhoun City to Winona. Points north and west of there could see some showers through the afternoon. Better chance of rain holds off till tonight, though. We get some scattered thunderstorms pushing in from the southwest. That's where our better chance of rain is going to be, is once we get into the overnight hours. High temperatures today ranging from the mid-70s into the low 80s as we head into the afternoon. Now, the big story, though, weather-wise over the next 7 days is the potential for some stronger storms. So this is for Saturday at 8 p.m. We could see some scattered showers and storms during the day Saturday, but as far as the severe weather threats concerned, it's going to hold off until about 9, 10 o'clock at night as this line of thunderstorms pushes through our area, pushes on out of here as we get into early Sunday morning. So this is certainly going to be an overnight kind of event, something to keep in mind. You want to have a way to get warnings once you go to sleep Saturday night. Most of our area under this slight risk. That's a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. But we do have this orange enhanced risk. That's a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. And that's typically where we would expect to see a better chance for tornadoes with this setup. But still, a few tornadoes can be possible in our neck of the woods. Some strong storms could produce wind gusts over 60 miles an hour, and those straight line winds probably going to be the biggest threat from this event. Some flooding may be an issue as well. Hail, certainly possible, but not the biggest threat that we've got with this event coming through Saturday night. Back behind the cold front, as we get into next week, rain chances are going to stick around, but we will see high temperatures dropping from the 80s to round out this week into the 60s and 70s as we get into next week. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap up the CW4 at 7 after this.
Welcome back, 7:56. Everyone knows avocados are tasty and good for you.
Yes.
But who knew they were a great place to hide engagement rings? Millennials, that's who.
I tell you, we're always coming up with something, right?
Absolutely.
Jeremy Robb has today's. Take a look at this.
Avocados are a super popular superfood. And why not? They're super versatile. Guacamole, avocado toast, guacamole, and now engagement ring boxes. Yep, there's a growing trend of people on social media surprising their loved ones with rings inside avocados. Wow, millennials are going full millennial on this one. There's even a hashtag avocado proposal. Hey, it's certainly a unique idea that'll make your friends green with envy, but if you wait too long, it'll just make them green. Ew. Take a look at this, a violent dust storm in the Australian state of Queensland. The storm vastly limited visibility and covered the town of Charleville in the southwestern part of the state in orange dust. According to Australia's 7 network, wind gusts were recorded at nearly 60 miles per hour. Yikes. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
First shot of that, it was kind of pretty.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, that, I mean, I'm sure
then-
those are scary, but it was kind of pretty.
And then those poor cows. I mean, we
Yeah.
might end up with some dusty hamburgers out here if we're not careful.
From the down under. That's my Australian
Was that not? No, we're not going to go.
That was a
with
better accent than my Elvis impersonation.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, mama.
Serious? She's beating you.
She's got it. Renee's got it.
That's a Johnny Bravo. I look at Johnny Bravo, the cartoon, and think of Elvis.
He's based on Elvis.
Yeah, he
So
is.
It works.
It works.
Anyway.
He has mutton chops and everything. I'm just kidding. Thanks for watching, folks. Have yourselves a great day.